Hi, how you doing? This is great to have you
I'm
in.
doing great. Finally.
Finally, we was having
Yes, I've
some.
been trying the whole time.
Yeah, we've been trying to get you in, but it seemed that there was some problems with your stream. But we got you in now. Are you over there in China at the moment?
Yes, I'm in Beijing.
In Beijing. First of all, before we talk about football, wanted to find out how you guys coping with the coronavirus crisis over there.
We're doing good actually, because things are pretty much back to normal now.
Oh wow!
We don't have a lockdown anymore, pretty much, and people are going back to work.
So, is it with like lots of conditions, or is it literally back to normal?
It was like a month ago, but now it's just like normal. Well, people still wear masks, and you get test of your temperature everywhere you go, but it's just like the old days now.
Oh wow! Well, that's brilliant. That's great to hear, because then that starts to fill me with hope that we can get to that stage. Obviously, we're behind where you guys are at the moment, but you know that's why I really want to ask you that, because that then gives me hope that we can get to that stage. Or could you see, like, for instance, us returning back, you know, from a football point of view, to football in say, I don't know, the next couple months, because we are a couple of months behind where you guys are at. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Sorry.
Could you repeat? Sorry.
Yeah, I was saying, could you see then us maybe getting back to, you know, in a couple of months to where you guys are at this stage?
Because our Super League was supposed to begin at the end of the year, but it got postponed until end of June. That's a very long time. So I think it probably take a couple more months for England to get back to normal. But
when would you say? When would you say?
Maybe July. Let's hope it's gonna be July, because if it's even later, it's gonna affect the next season.
Yeah. So you could see, you know, by what you're seeing at the moment, you could see possibly July we could be playing football over here in the UK again.
I think that's the best case scenario.
So that's good. But listen, that's great news that you guys are sort of getting back to normal out there, because you know what, at the moment over here, we're going through what you guys were going through a couple of months ago, which is just complete lockdown, stuck at home, no football. It is, it's driving me mad. It is driving me mad right now.
Yeah, it drove us crazy as well, because it was during Chinese New Year, and that's the biggest holiday of the year, and people had to stay in without going to visit their family members. But we got through this, so you will get through this as well.
Thank you. That's brilliant. As I was about to say, right, it shows that if people stick to, you know, the social distancing and stick to what we're being told to do and stay at home, we can get through the worst of this.
Yes, of course you will. And we didn't just do social distancing. We had no socializing at all. Everyone just stay in without seeing anyone.
Yeah. Well, that's what we're doing now over here as well. So let's hope, you know, we can get through this lockdown and get out of this. Now, I know that you're a Man United fan.
Yeah, for more than 10 years.
Wow. What do you think of it? You know what? I was having a big debate the other night with Flex, who does the United stand, and he was talking about Jadon Sancho. And the fact that he's been linked with a move to Manchester United. And I was saying to him, because he was saying to me, it probably cost about 100 million. And I was saying, for me, 100 million pounds, he's a good player, but I don't think he's worth that. But what about you? Do you think he's worth that sort of money?
I totally agree with you. I think no one is worth 100 million, especially in a difficult time like this. Because most clubs don't have enough money to splurge on players, and so we shouldn't spend that much on him. And he's great, but he hasn't proved himself that much to let us pay 100 million on him.
What have you made of Bruno Fernandes? I mean, since he's come in, that has sort of coincided with like Manchester United really having a big uplift. But what have you made of him?
He's already a fan favorite here in China. Everyone loves him. Everyone's like, let's forget about Pogba, let's sell him. but I'm really looking forward to seeing them play alongside each other.
And what have you made of, again, another guy that you just mentioned there? Has been a lot of debate about him, and that is Paul Pogba. What have you made of Pogba? Do you still have faith in Pogba that he can come back into the Manchester United team and do well?
I've always been a fan of how he plays football. I mean, apart from his hairstyle and everything like that, I always support him. I always want him to do well. It's just he's getting so much criticism that he doesn't deserve that much. So I'm just hoping that fans can be more patient and give him more time to see what he can really bring to the team.
And can you see Man United? Because again, there's so many debates I've been having with Manchester United fans recently, but there was, of course, a time when it was our two clubs that we were the ones that ruled the roost. It was Arsenal, Man United, Arsenal. Yeah, I mean, it was always that match, slug off between us two. It isn't that no more. We're both, have not challenged for the league in a very, very long time. But can you see Manchester United, re-emerging and challenging for the league now under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer?
I really hope we will, because even in China, there's a joke that fans compare Man United to Arsenal because we were great back in the day and now we're both struggling. So we're making fun of these teams, but we also want both of them to do well. And I'm very positive towards Ole because I believe that he's got the right decision, right players, and he got the right DNA. So why not trust him?
Okay, and who's the biggest supported Premier League club? Is it Manchester United over there in China? Who would you say the top three biggest supported clubs over there?
It has to be Man United, Arsenal, and Liverpool.
Okay. What about
Liverpool's doing so well? There are more and more Liverpool fans here.
What about sort of the emerging club? Well, like Man City, do they have a lot of support over there?
Some people jump on the bandwagon, but I don't think they're real fans.
That said like a real Man United fan there about Manchester City. Well, listen, Liv, thank you very, very much for coming on today. I really, really appreciate it. It's great to get your insight about what's happening over there in China, and it gives us a lot of hope that we can, also get back to normal here. I mean, because this is just, I remember like watching what was going on in China at the start of the year and thinking, oh, that's terrible. I was, being locked down for that. Oh, I couldn't do that. And now we're having to do it.
Yeah, who would have thought? But you definitely get through this because you have someone to learn to.
Brilliant, brilliant. Well, thank you very much, Liv. Appreciate you coming on today.
Thank you for having me.
The coronavirus has not just affected the world of football, but has affected everybody. But you know what? We can defeat it. If you're displaying any of the symptoms, always make sure that you self-isolate. I know it's a terrible time, but we will defeat the coronavirus. We will be back.